Hi guys, Aaron here and welcome to the workshop. Today I want to talk about a brand that has been popping up on my bikes quite a lot lately. I'm sure you've noticed that. So the brand I'm going to talk about now is of course Enve and their wheel sets and components. So to address one question that I tend to get, am I sponsored by Enve? Is that the reason why I'm getting so much of the products lately? And the answer to that is no. Unfortunately, I'm not sponsored by Enve. In fact, by buying all this stuff from them, I can declare that I am sponsoring Enve. But I'd love to be sponsored by them because I really like their products. And how I got to them? Well, if you can recall, around a year and a half ago, I would say, I was riding basically zip wheel sets on my bikes because, well, I have good access to zip where I live, and because of my trading connections with SRAM, I have good prices on zip and Quark and everything. So that was what I was using basically. And if you take it from that point of view, basically an Enve wheel set costs around twice as much as a basic zip Firecrest wheel set. So is it worth the money and the up cost? So at first, until I tried them, I thought no. And actually the first wheel set I got from Enve were the SES 4.5s. So this is a clincher wheel set for all-around use. I got them with the super expensive carbon hubs back in the day when they were available. And the reason I got these because I sold my 454 NSWs for a customer. They really wanted them, he really wanted them. So I sold those, and they weren't readily available while the Enves were. So I decided to give them a shot and essentially never looked back. Now, as for this particular wheel set, when I compare the Zip 454s and the 4.5 Enves, there's not a major difference. Actually, the 454s are newer design, they are a watt or two faster. But the main reason I was drawn to the Enves was the braking. Because, well, allegedly Enves have the best braking in the business. And because my Madone has these integrated brakes, not standard caliper brakes or even direct mount brakes, those would be very nice, but unfortunately no. Now these aren't bad by any means, but they definitely lack the pure power of those kinds of brakes, of the standard Shimano or SRAM brakes. So I really wanted a wheel set that excels in that area, because the other areas, well, they were quite similar in this high-end segment. So braking wise, it definitely fulfilled my expectations. So in the wet, in the dry, the braking is just spot on. It's beautifully modulated and quite powerful as well. Even with these brakes, it's massively powerful with standard brakes. And the stability of the wheels is also great. Basically, I liked every single aspect apart from the price. I have to say I went for the carbon hubs back then, but in hindsight I think I could have done better with the carbon TI hubs as I have now on my disc Enve wheel sets, because in the rim brake version they basically are within 10 grams of the Enves and cost half as much, but that's not a problem anyway. Now at least I have my two rim brake wheel sets with the Enve carbon hubs, and they have DT Swiss internals, so they are easily serviceable, a bit more easily than the carbon TIs, or well, I wouldn't say easily, but you know, the way I'm more used to. But never mind that. The second wheel set were the 7.8 Now these were the wheel sets, or this is the wheel set that actually won me completely over to Enve. And the reason for that is, well, I've owned the 808 NSWs before, and well, since I had the 4.5s, I decided, well, I want matching wheel sets, so I gotta go for the Enves. And based on the reviews, this was the obvious choice. They are tubeless, they're much lighter, they're much more stable, much more stable than the 808s. And of course they have the superior Enve braking, so what's not to like? And it completely blew me away just how well these wheels perform. And from that point onwards, I was really thinking more and more about upgrading all of my bikes to Enve. And yeah, I've also upgraded my cyclocross wheel set. Well, to the Enve tubulars, I've already shown you those. I've yet to try them, but the cross season is not so far away now. Plus the 4.5 AR discs, they are also a big improvement compared to the 303s in terms of speed, ride quality, and of course massively lighter. Also much more expensive, but you know, if you want the best, then it's the obvious choice. Then another product that I really rate from Enve is the new Aero cockpit that they've just launched. So the Aero stem, the mount that goes with it, and of course the bars. Great fit options, great adjustability when it comes to the stem. Very forward-thinking design when it comes to the bars and the width. And mind-blowing ride quality really from such an Aero setup. So instead of the brittle twang that I got from the Madone bar and stem, now I got this Cadillac plushness from the Enve setup. And I've read this about many Enve products on their review site, but I thought, well, this is a bit too good to be true, but it really isn't. They really have done their homework when it comes to the layup and how the products are designed. And many people, as on all of my videos in this topic, will comment that, well, you can get 6 pairs of Chinese carbon wheels for that. Well, yes, but you know, there's so much more that goes into performance and ride quality than just having it made out of carbon fiber. And this, until you try a setup like this, you can't really realize that, you know. With these you have different rim shapes, completely different rim shapes, front and rear, rim depth, and yeah, just the overall design of every wheel set and the finish quality is just very good, and I would say it matches the price when I compare it to the zips or heads that I previously used. Then lately I've also built myself quite a high-end mountain bike, and of course the first choice after having these experiences was to go with an Enve wheel set. So this is the M525. I've shown you this earlier, and yeah, it just met and I would say succeeded my expectations when it comes to this. You can get away with extremely low pressures without the tire squirming, without pinch flatting. The traction you get and the compliance now with the new design is just mind-blowing, really. When I compare it to the old MV29er XCs that I had on my Cannondale. So yeah, it's a lot of money, but you can definitely feel where it has gone in terms of development. I also got my new M5 bar, but I've yet to try this one. I haven't actually ridden it, just set it up. The weird thing about this one is that the width is 760, so that's huge. So I'm open to trying new things. My preferred width is 700 by now, but I'm going to try it like this, full-sized, or maybe cut it down in the future. I also have an Enve seat post on here, and according to the reviews, it has a superior ride quality to most other seat posts. Well, I can't actually talk about it too much because this is a full suspension bike, but yeah, I suspect based on my experiences that the reviews seem to be true. So if you want a very comfortable seat post, then it probably is. Although I have to say the clamping mechanism is a bit unusual, and many people had problems with that, but as I found out with many things in the past, if you use something as it is recommended by the manufacturer, then it just works. If you don't follow the instructions, it just doesn't work. So that's the way it is. One thing from Enve that I wasn't really blown away by, or one product, are the bottle cages. I have these in my Madone and they're not super light, but that wasn't really the point. And they're very easily accessible from, well, different directions. You can pull it out or sideways. But one thing I found is that the hold with the Elite bottles that I've been using recently is not super secure. So I've just put a bit of grip tape. I've never lost a bottle even without that, but you know, just to be safe. I had a couple of races when there were cobbled sectors, so yeah, just for this peace of mind, really. Yeah, so I'd like to conclude this little explanation with my only real severe drawback when it comes to Enve products, and that is their availability. And I don't think that this actually is a global problem, because, well, the thing is, I live in an area where the market demand for products like these is not huge. So I had to wait quite a long time for every one of these, and yeah, that might just be down to the distributor, well, not being very competent, I would say, but they are improving slowly. So yeah, superior product. The availability is a bit lacking, but overall I think if you want to go and have the best that is around there, when it comes to wheel sets, Enve is my obvious choice. One set or wheel that I'm lacking from their setup currently is the Enve disc. Some of you have pointed that out in the previous video. Unfortunately, I think it will be at least another year until the new Enve disc comes out, and I couldn't really wait that long, so I have a different disc ordered as a replacement or as an addition. Actually, this is one of the few periods in my cycling career or life, I would say, is that I don't have a disc wheel, but that will soon change, hopefully. And sometimes you the viewers also ask if I have some products for sale, but I'm going to make a different video about that. But in this particular case, I want to point out one thing. The new replacement for the 4.5s has just been released, so it's called the 5.6 tubeless rim, and yeah, it's set to replace this particular wheel set. So I can actually say that I wasn't planning to, but because I didn't know about release, but it would be a huge convenience for me because the rim width is the same as the 7.8 and I can use the same tires. So it would be a nice addition to replace the 4.5. So if someone would be interested, I'll be selling the 4.5 rims, or perhaps the complete wheel set with this Enve hub, although I would prefer to keep it so I have basically the same hubs on my wheel set. or perhaps with the new carbon TI hub, depends on what you would actually want. So there's an opportunity for you there. Okay, so I think that concludes my thoughts about Enve and how did I get to them and their products. If you want to know more about other cycling products that I use on my bikes, then don't forget to tune into the channel and subscribe. It's all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.